Should I open this?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead if you want to unbox
the unboxing of the rarest of the rare Bburago, the Mercedes-AMG F1 W13E Performance.
Oh man, that was a great year.
The best year.
It's a great year for everyone else.
It's a lot of fun memories.
Yeah.
This is the car design that George Russell looked at, and he's like, "That's fast."
Yeah, that is the one. That is the one.
But I mean, got the Lewis because we had a great Lewis
He's a
weekend.
champion.
We're Team LH.
Overly excited.
Team LH for sure.
We're not usually
this
excited
weekend.
about Lewis, but we will give him props when he needs those props.
Let me.
Oh yeah, you need a screwdriver.
You need a screw. Oh,
that's
what?
ridiculous.
I didn't know these
You
were
gotta
that
get
fancy.
You got to get
Let's see.
screwy with that.
Oh yeah, here we gotta tighten in. Can you see the side pods?
They're not there. I can't see them. I can't see them.
There's 0 pods.
The zero,
Check those out.
Zero pods, but the yellow helmet, Lewis in there.
Yeah.
Slim waist.
Little
you
did
know?
he know at this moment in his life, he would have the 2024 British Grand Prix would be coming his way.
You'd have a 945-day
Anyway,
drought.
let's get into it.
Let's go. I'm going to have to cut before that. The Canadians here, everyone.
Guest.
At a record pace.
We get 70 miles per gallon on this fucker.
Fun.
Was that a Friday or It's Friday remix? Fun. We need to get Rebecca Black to do a Formula One song. Way better than Will.I.Am.
Totally.
Do you think Will Smith will make a F1 song
Yeah.
for the movie?
Is he in it?
Does he need to be?
He will make one on his own, just like independently.
Yeah.
Like Will.I.Am.
Yeah.
Do you
Get
think the
my
Wills-
song on your movie.
I mean,
The Wills
one
should
way to
team
approach
up. Both Wills making us epic song for the Formula One movie.
Who's the Will.I.Am?
Will.I.Am. He's done 2
the
already.
greats.
We haven't accepted either one yet.
no. The second one I've never even heard. The first one I heard 10 seconds and said no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Anyway, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
I am Max, here with Mike, and then our guest, Kevin.
Happy to be
friend of
here.
the show.
Kevin.
He's been on a few times, so welcome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it was an epic week at the British Grand Prix.
It was.
So Kevin had to come on. We needed more people.
He said that the Canadian influence needed to be represented for the
It's
British
weird
Grand
that I
Prix.
wasn't on for the Montreal one.
No.
the excitement of this weekend couldn't be handled just by 2 people.
No.
we needed.
true, it was
we
a
needed
really
the
fun
full,
weekend.
the full podcast.
It was.
Yeah.
This is a necessary move.
yeah,
It was.
very cool.
Yeah, it was
Essential.
good.
So
That was it.
Yep. All right. Great episode, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
No,
Hit
this
the
is a great-
outro.
No, this episode we definitely want to talk about Lewis.
Yes.
We want to talk about the British Grand Prix, and I don't know if there's anything else to talk about.
Pretty much nothing.
'Kay, so
Because
let's-
there's enough to go through.
Okay, let's get in
Yeah.
it. Mike, I feel like you've been holding back the most on excitement and what to talk about. What is the first on your list? Or should I give you the first thing on my list, but it's not. It's not gonna be.
I would do like a downward dog right now to get like limbered up or something, but I think I might we might spill your liquid death again, which happened once off of camera already. So, but here's the thing: I almost feel like I need to run down the list of things really fast, quickly, and then we'll just go through and start talking about them.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, in 2024, we have had 11 of 24 races complete. Okay.
Wow.
And in
Okay.
11 races, we've had 6 race winners.
Different race
6
winners.
individual winners.
That is
that's
exciting.
much different from last
amazing
year.
stuff.
Last year we had 3.
No, I think it was 2.
Max,
Oh, it was
three.
Sergio.
Checo and
Yeah.
Carlos.
And Carlos Sainz. This year, we've had freaking 6. We've doubled
And we're not
last
even
year.
halfway done.
Nope.
So that's amazing.
Amazing
Competition is
progress.
at a high.
Yes.
I love that.
4 constructors
stat.
have won races.
That's also really fun.
That is something
was
that is
2
also
last
new.
year.
Yeah. This is a big new
And
one.
it was a very unbalanced ratio of 2 constructors. Just Ferrari once, Red Bull 23 times, 22 times.
something ridiculous like that.
Ridiculous,
Yeah.
yeah.
In addition to that, as just a side note, Sergio hasn't won this year.
No.
No.
That's what's weird about
He
the
stopped
6 race
racing.
winners is that he did.
He's not racing
So
anymore.
we're gonna get there. So that's one of our points to talk about, okay? But here's one of the things that I think is insane about this.
Yeah.
As we stand, Red Bull is 70 points ahead of Ferrari in the Constructor Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull at this point last year was 411 points, and 208 was what Mercedes had.
No.
Wow.
So Red Bull was already running away with
Like
this.
over 200 points almost.
Yeah, and this
Ahead
year,
of the second place.
This year they're only 70 points ahead of Ferrari.
Wow.
It's 373 to 302.
Still they got a lead, but it's not crazy.
That's only like
That's 2 races if
3.
if they get some points taken away.
Yeah. That's not usually how it works,
Yeah,
but I like where your head's
That's why
at.
I don't work at the math factory.
But Ferrari is only 7 points ahead of McLaren right now. So not only is there only a 70-point gap.
They dropped too.
Yeah, so it's 302 to 295. There's
Yeah.
only 7 points between them. So that means that this is like an actual 3-horse fight right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. McLaren actually had the best showing of any team this weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is hilarious
yes.
given what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
McLaren has also stepped up only in the past handful of races.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like their first couple races weren't anything special.
Nowhere near where Ferrari's
So if
been.
they continue on that trajectory, they got a lock on like a nice fight for the championship.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the rest of this is kind of just, well, first of all, we have to talk about Nico Hülkenberg, 6th again, crushing it.
Regretting that move from Haas.
Yes, and now, but Haas is now 4 points away from 6th in the constructors. You want to talk
awesome.
about the
Huge.
biggest advancement
Yeah.
in this season? For sure, 10th to 6th is remarkable.
That is exciting. Wow. Who's in 6th?
V-carb.
Oh, just okay.
So-
wow, what a battle.
And honestly, Red Bull should be further ahead.
There's a projection that Haas will be 5th at the end of the season.
That's crazy.
That's a fun projection for Haas fans.
Let's
for us.
go.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be
Killing
really cool.
it. Then we're going to get to some talking points about the race, but one of them being Piastri keeps getting the shaft from McLaren.
Yeah, that was
And
brutal.
Yeah.
Ferrari's first real blown strategy since Fred took over, in
I
my
ha-
opinion. Like
I have-
really
You'll
feeling
You'll have to
like
explain that to me because I think George not winning is a great strategy.
that's Mercedes.
Oh, who did you say?
Ferrari's
Oh,
first like
okay,
real
yeah.
blown strategy
I have a lot of opinions
on the Ferrari
on the Ferrari blunder.
deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the rest of this we can get around to. I think we
Okay.
can get into the race
I
now.
mean,
but those
I
were some
have-
points
yeah.
and stuff that I
Ooh.
wanted to make sure we talked about.
I mean, there was a funny moment in a press conference that I want to highlight.
oh yes.
I mean, the cool down room was hilarious to me.
Amazing, yeah.
We also got to see the trailer for the new F1 movie, a
Yeah.
teaser trailer. We didn't even get a full trailer.
And
a
it
teaser
looks
trailer.
And I am
hype.
so stoked.
Yeah, it looks hype.
I don't get excited for movies very much
Look.
anymore, but
And I don't think that everyone's going to agree with me on this. Ayao is killing it as Haas team principal, but everybody likes seeing Gunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Everybody
his head popped out.
Yeah, and
has
it was,
any movie ever been made like this where there's actual real life athletes in the movie as fictional characters in a way?
like Rookie of the Year had that with like Barry Bonds is in it.
Because
was
some
Brad Pitt
baseball
is in
figures.
line, and there's Max and Checo
There
and
was that Adam
Charles.
Sandler movie where he like is an NBA agent. It was on Netflix a couple years
Oh
ago.
yeah,
Oh,
I know
does
what
that?
you're talking about.
And that that did have like
kinda
real
wove in
well, it
real
had like real
athletes.
NBA players in it.
Cool.
And then it had a couple of NBA players who played in the league playing fictional characters.
Oh, interesting.
Space Jam.
Oh,
Space Jam.
Yep,
I
another
think had a-
real life,
Yeah.
almost feeling movie.
yeah.
Definitely.
The
Bill
second
Murray.
one was amazing.
Bill Murray does play himself.
Yes.
Yeah, Wayne Knight plays a fictional character, so it's confusing.
Bill Murray
Who's
plays a
playing
version
who?
of himself that was born in Toontown.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Anyway, the trailer looks rad.
It does
It
look
looks
great.
so good.
And I think it's fun because if you went to a Grand Prix, like we went to the Las Vegas Grand Prix,
Yep.
and we went to 24 Hours of Daytona,
Yeah.
there was always rumors that they were filming bits of the movie
Right.
there, and you don't know. They
They
could
were
have.
filming bits of it when we were in Vegas.
Yeah, they would have
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah, they
Night
were.
scenes in the U.S. like. So it's fun that fans of the sport also be like, "Hey, I was there when they did this."
It's so cool.
The excitement is off the rails.
Yeah, they
Huge.
just confirmed Hans Zimmer's doing the score. That got confirmed today.
I mean, after Hans Zimmer's performance at the Austrian Grand Prix, he can score everything for the rest of eternity. It was so epic.
As long as Will.I.Am isn't doing it, we're
And
good.
Yeah.
did you notice too? So the song for the trailer is that
We
like
will rock you.
is Queen's
Brian May.
Will Rock You, and
Yeah.
Brian May waved the flag for the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That's intentional.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
It was-
Yeah. And Brundle tried to interview him on the grid walk, and he was like, "No, I don't know anything." And he didn't say that on the microphone, so you couldn't hear him say that. And Brundle pulled away, and he was like, he said he doesn't want to pretend to know anything, and I can respect that. I don't know why his delivery for everything is so good.
Yeah.
But it made it feel like it was less of a push away.
Yeah. Everything was timed really well this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend was
It
epic.
was calculated.
Along with Lewis winning, we had Charles winning at Monaco. So this year is also like very momentous in that these heartwarming,
Yeah, there's been
legendary,
some, like,
epic moments for
hometown
F1
heroes.
Historic
are happening in one
events.
season.
Historical season
Yeah.
2024 is
Apart from like
already
a
in the
championship
books.
win.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're really lucky.
No, I really think that this win is like, we will remember the day that Lewis Hamilton ended the drought at Silverstone forever.
Yeah.
We will not forget this race.
And it's also nice that the last race he won at Silverstone wasn't him running around with a flag after sending Max to the hospital.
It's
Like that-
definitely nice.
Like it's not a tarnished
It's-
memory anymore.
Yeah, it's nice to like, okay, we can throw that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was way
Anyway,
good.
so should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what was the first thing, Mike?
Well, let's talk about how Jeremy Clarkson, before the race,
Yeah.
said that he wanted it to rain because
Yeah.
it's for the old boys. And he says if it rains, the old boys are going to be in contention, and that's Alonso and Lewis.
Ooh.
And see, he's like, but I have my money on Hamilton. And so cool that he was right.
Yeah.
Secondly, he said that there was he's like, you want to hear the exclusive? And this was to a German media outlet. He said, you guys want an exclusive? And they said, yes, of course.
What did he say?
And he said, Adrian Newey is not shopping for homes in Maranello.
I've heard this.
He is shopping for homes in Oxford.
And who's in Oxford?
Almost everyone. So here's the thing, is that it doesn't actually tell us anything other than he's not buying a house in Italy.
Okay, and we kind of talked about that.
Hottest rumor is that he's going to Aston Martin. Which
Did you
makes-
call that?
I'm just going to put it out there. The Canadians saying that, it's not happening. It's probably Williams or McLaren.
Williams makes a lot of sense. McLaren feels like a little too like they're already doing great.
Andrea Stella is killing it right now with that
To
team.
me, Aston makes a lot of sense because he's already working with the Honda Power Unit, and that's who's becoming the Honda customer.
Yeah, that
So-
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think
Plus, they throw money around like it's going out of style.
within the budget cap.
Because that's Lawrence Stroll style.
Yeah, but they have ways of getting around that. Obviously,
Yeah,
He'll design a road car, and
Yeah.
he works for the road car team. Blah blah blah.
Do you think Williams actually has Newey on board, and that's why they're trying so hard to get Carlos?
Well, this
they
isn't
have a hidden weapon.
this isn't so far-fetched. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't so far-fetched about
Or
the
Haas.
idea of trying to steal Adrian for any of the teams. But when you think about Williams and McLaren, these are two teams that he's worked for.
True.
So that's a return to home for one of them, for whoever he chooses. Aston Martin's a brand new opportunity. Even the idea of going to work for Alpine, I don't think is fully out the door. And again, Chipping Norton, where Jeremy Clarkson lives, is outside of Oxford.
Right.
Maybe he just wants to hang out with his old school buddy.
Yeah.
Crazy that they went to school together.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
They're both the only two kids to ever be expelled from
So
that
of
school.
course Jeremy would know. Of course he would know.
Yes, Adrian
Oh,
and him go
man.
way back.
Of course he has an exclusive.
So, but anyways, I thought that was kind of cool that Jeremy Clarkson, his genius, as he would say,
He is a genius.
knows no bounds. His genius sometimes scares him. I mean, but man, leading up to the race, I knew it was going to rain.
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be variable
could
weather.
feel it in your bones?
And I was just
your
like,
joints?
I watched it live. I woke up and
Oh, me
watched
too.
it live
Yeah.
because I was that anxious.
Oh, I just watch it live because I always watch the races when I can.
I wake up and start my DVR. Start from wherever it recorded and go, okay, here we go. With one eye still a little bit crusty shut. But yeah, this one I watched live and was just so excited. But how about you? You watched it late because, you're too good for everything?
I watched it late because I'm an absolute just heathen of a person. But no, I
Took everything in my body to not text you the result.
Yeah, how did you heard about the result before the race, or were you able to
unfortunately I
avoid
did.
it?
Yeah,
That's a hard one to avoid.
Yeah, it really was. But it was also just kind of like, how is this going to shake out?
Yeah.
You know? I loved that it was raining, but it wasn't raining too much. And that whole like the rain made it so interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like the main theme for this weekend for me was drivers knowing more than the engineers who are sitting at the booth.
Right.
And if you watch the post-race interviews, Lando literally says, I'm not as good as the guys who beat me today because they know more than me.
Right.
And because he pitted too late.
Yeah.
And
went to the wrong tire.
Yeah, he went to the soft, and Lewis literally said to him after the race, I think if you went to the new medium, you probably do better.
Right.
And he just didn't know those things.
It got real uncomfortable after they had that conversation.
Seriously.
He's like, did you have a set of mediums? And Lando goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then it just goes, oh, that would have been faster. Like rubbing his face with the towel, and it gets.
This was in the cool down room.
Yeah, it gets real uncomfortable.
There's a lot of uncomfortable moments in the cool down room.
I think like
way bad.
This whole idea of drivers knowing more than the engineers because they're on the track. That's the reason why
there is no
more,
sensor
right?
for the asphalt.
No.
And there's a lot of experience behind those drivers.
Right.
Years.
And so you look at Charles, and as much as people want to be like, oh, another Ferrari blunder, it's like, no.
Charles could have told him no.
This is a Charles blunder straight up.
Right.
Yeah. What did he do? What happened?
He went to Inters too soon.
They said
he let them make the
come
call.
in for the Inter, and he's like, okay. The same thing got said to Checo, and he said, okay. Those are the two drivers that went to the Inters,
and they did not recover from that move.
No.
And they got lapped.
Yeah,
they had to go to another set of Inters, a brand new set of Inters
when everyone else did.
Yes,
yeah,
I didn't get that. I missed that little pit
so they
stop.
double pitted.
Oh,
yeah,
they were minutes behind.
It
was
ruined.
sad.
It ruined their race. And as much as I want to be like, oh, that's a Ferrari blunder, if Lewis is in that Ferrari seat next year, Lewis doesn't make that mistake.
No, definitely not. Yeah, you're correct.
Because there's I think it was Lewis and Max. They both got told, it's like, hey, do you want to come in for the Inters? It's like, it's dry out here.
They're like, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
And Norris made the mistake of coming in too late for the slicks. Was that it?
He just, when he did a lap later, but he also went to the wrong tire. Yeah.
Max, like, this just proves that Max is genuinely a genius, you know? Because
he is brilliant.
He knows.
He made the calls when to come in for both tire changes.
Yeah.
He made the call to come in for the Inters. He's like, cool, I'm coming in now. And then he saw the sun pop out, and he didn't hesitate. He went right for the hards. And switching to the hards was an interesting call, too.
It was definitely a good move.
Genius.
Yeah.
I mean, he started in 5th, right?
Yeah.
Finished in 2nd. And he was smiling so hard.
Yeah,
at the
it's
end
like
of that
you
race.
couldn't wipe it off his face. He's like, that was the recovery drive of my career.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah. He had nothing for him this weekend. The Red Bull was never on form for anyone else. The rest of the teams all had him beat.
Yeah.
And Max managed a second. He's like, my championship lead is good right now.
Wow.
To me, Lewis definitely won this weekend, and I'm so happy for him. Like, that's really, really quite cool.
Definitely.
It's less of a theme of Lewis winning for me and more of a theme of McLaren blew this race so badly. This was their race to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, they torched it.
You know, and to your point, I think that the experience card does play into this a ton. So I watched the race on the TV, and then I also had my iPad out for onboard view selection.
Okay. You're getting deep with the...
I do this. My kids actually love it. It's one of the things that they love most. They come in and they go, okay, who's that guy? Okay, who's that guy? And they love like just going through them. But anyways, I kept Lewis on for majority of the race, and it was blowing my mind.
How come?
Because of how little grip there was at
Insane.
times. It was like you cannot
How can you tell that from like the onboard?
Because they straight tiptoe through corners they normally are flying through. And you're like, oh, he's still in the lead. But you see Lewis just doing this, and it's like the corner's right. But he's just still going straight, trying to keep it going. And then once it finally grabs, you see him you see the light bar just start to slowly sweep. And then as soon as the grip catches and it's
fires.
Gear, and it's nuts. I got to see something that I feel like people don't get to study. And it was just so cool.
Just
on
a
skates.
expert masterclass.
Somebody who knew how to drive on a tire that had no tread on a track that had plenty of
This
water.
is like the genius of Lewis that people talk about.
right, and just
That
the
we don't
drivers who
believe
know how to do
exists
it
until it came out this weekend.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, that
I
was
think the genius
nuts.
of Lewis is real. I just think the fan base blows.
Totally. I think that's what anyone who's normal agrees with that.
Yeah.
The one thought along with that, though, to like kind of echo the whole McLaren absolutely blew this race, is as soon as it started raining, dude, they blew past the Mercs.
Yeah, totally.
So fast.
Yeah.
They,
The
it
McLarens
they look like
started
different
raining,
cars.
and they were gone.
They look like
and they were
completely
gone.
different cars.
yeah.
If they pit Oscar right behind Lando, and Lando switches to that other tire, if they make both of those changes, they probably win the race.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
didn't they ask, was it Zach Brown on the radio, or were they thinking like, oh, are they going to double stack the McLarens?
and then they make the
chose not
choice
to.
not.
And it kind of screwed them over.
Well, I think Oscar fell something to the degree of like 40 seconds over that
was
decision.
brutal.
And
Was
it's
he,
like,
he was leading at one point, right?
Yeah.
Lando went in and then like he stayed out.
and that's why if they had just double stacked, it's like he might have lost 5-10 seconds, but he lost 40
Yeah.
because they left him on a wet track on dry
Oh,
tires.
jeez.
And it's like, was that the decision?
You're
That
right,
seemed
yeah.
very
that,
odd.
And that was their call, not his call.
No, that wasn't
And that's-
Piastri's.
And that's important. Like,
Again, it's
to
just these
distinct.
younger drivers don't know how to
well,
make
no,
the call, or
he probably can't override that call.
Yeah,
he
he's
can still drive the car into the pit.
Yeah, I
That's-
guess he could have.
yeah,
but, like,
we've seen
you
Lewis
can't-
do that.
I guess what I'm saying is Charles going in and being like, okay, yeah, I'll pit now. That was his choice to agree with it. Whereas them saying Piastri stay out,
That's like
Yeah.
a team
don't
order.
come in behind Lando.
Yeah.
That's like there's a different type of order.
Right.
with
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
Right. And
Yeah. He doesn't
but
have as much power to say no to that one.
Even-
But he could have. Truthfully, I guess he could have.
even in to Piastri's defense as well, I mean, that dude was an overtaking machine, though. Like,
Oh, man. he is so good.
I genuinely think
so
Oscar.
good.
He is becoming one of my favorites. Like
He is.
pretty quick.
the
And
guy is
I
good.
think he's just as good as Lando.
yeah, I just think they keep
possibly
screwing
better.
him over.
Possibly better.
Possibly
Yeah.
better. He also just like it's all business on the track, man.
Yeah.
There's no emotion.
Business in the front, business in the back. Oscar
Oscar
Piastri.
Piastri. That needs to be a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
Business in the
That's a
front, business
t-shirt.
in the back. Oscar Piastri.
Just no, it doesn't need a further explanation. Gosh, that's good. Oh, wow.
I love that.
But yeah. So you mean to tell me that your business in the front and in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. What's your name again?
He is so quick, though. He is so quick. I think he wins probably before the year's over.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be
His
surprised.
my
McLaren
guess.
keeps getting better.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Totally.
mean, but
and if he finally gets a good strategy
yeah.
where they're not favoring Lando or screwing him over.
Oh, gosh.
I just think he's had a bit of bad luck. This is more one of I can't think of
Like,
another.
well, last race we talked about the virtual safety car that kind of like threw off his approach
Yeah.
to overtake
he
George
just had
Russell.
some bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't like tipped his way yet, but it will.
It will. for
Miami
sure.
was his race to lose as well.
It was.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it went the way of Lando. I mean, but I'm excited for Lando, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of felt like he got hosed.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen, like, go and watch the post race interviews, and then watch Lando's. Did you see this? He just like he looks absolutely dejected. He
Oh,
looks
destroyed.
so
It was
sad.
his race to win.
He's just like, this is, I mean, especially his home race. He's dreamed of winning this race for how
Right.
long, right?
Right.
And it was, yeah.
Second year in a row that he got second, right?
Yeah.
He almost
Or
won it
he
last
third.
year? Last
He
year was
like-
third?
No, he finished third this
Oh,
race
that's right.
because of Max.
Yeah, that's right. So-
But he, in addition to that as well, I mean, like, it's a different reaction to George Russell, who blew an engine. Well, he didn't blow it.
I think he just gave up.
he was like,
I was watching it and he just went in the pits. It's like, retire the car. He's like, I'm not winning this. He's like, father will be hearing. He will be hearing from my dad.
Came over the
He's
TV.
and
like,
I'm
can
not
I
driving
say
the rest
Yabba
of the
Dabba
race."
Do 2 races in a row?
came over the radio and he was like, "Are we not working together as a team?" And they were like, "Retire the
refuse
car.
to drive under these
Retire the car.
conditions."
Just retire the car."
It's raining out here. I
can't listen
I
to
was
this
told
anymore.
it'd be sunny, and he just pulled in.
He's like,
Retire the car.
Is it raining? Is that sweat from my visor?
Yeah. So what? He had like a water issue in his thing.
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah. Water issue.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
He said when he pulled out after pitting for tires, his steering wheel was like going off like a Christmas tree.
Really?
Like the lights were just all over the place. Yeah, he's like, it was like he he knew that it was going to happen as soon as he came out.
I mean, like Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Yabba dabba do.
Yabba dabba do.
And all the fans in the Formula One world went, "Oh no!" Anyway, and just Lewis is in the lead. Yeah,
We're finally getting rewarded for having seen him win.
yeah, for having to watch this.
Oh, that weird.
That is the only thing about him that I'm like enjoying.
It's funny that he embraced it.
Yes.
But yeah, totally.
Oh, he was doing his dumb intro pose.
Yeah, he does it on top of the car when he wins.
That's what
It's
that
like
was.
yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what the heck
so,
is this?
I think it's the only thing he's ever done where I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's just accidental that it became cool. And it's not even cool. It's just
I will
a funny
give him that,
joke,
though,
but he's
but-
leaning into it.
No, it's-
George is good at embracing what people make fun of him for. I will give him that.
That is true. It is
It's
true.
funny.
Yeah,
It's funny.
He's good at that. But yeah, it is definitely different to see the two reactions between Lando and George at the end of the race.
Man, but then the whole overarching moment of the whole weekend was Lewis finally winning after a couple seasons without a win at the British Grand Prix.
I mean,
incredible.
Consider this, okay?
'Kay.
The last time we saw Lewis on the top step of the podium
Yeah.
was Saudi Arabia 2021.
Yeah.
The race where Max rear-ended him. Do you remember that?
Wait,
At the
that's the last time he
DRS?
got first.
That was the last time he won a race.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that long ago.
That long ago.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Is an eternity.
Yeah. It is an eternity.
945 days between wins.
Yeah.
Is nuts when you consider how much we saw Hambot. He fell from grace in the most incredible fashion I think I've ever seen a world champion fall. Like, it is crazy to think that he went 2.5 years without a win.
I
Especially
mean,
after.
it's been nice.
Oh, totally.
It's been nice.
In the fact
been
that,
a nice
like,
break.
So
Sure.
I've talked about on the podcast before how it's fun to see competition and it's fun to see drivers that are genuinely excited about a win.
Right.
And I get
Which
bored.
he now falls into, which is why this was
It was
fun.
why it was so fun.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I genuinely enjoyed it. I was like, oh, he's going to win. I'm not mad about this.
Right.
This is exciting. And then it's at his home Grand Prix. This is amazing. And he's also breaking the record for the most wins at one circuit.
Right.
With this win, like, there's a lot happening in this moment that is just incredible.
Yeah, you want that stat?
Yes.
So the stat is that no one has ever won a Grand Prix after their 300th start. Nobody has ever won at the same track 9 times.
Yep.
Nobody has won a race 17 years after their first.
Well,
And Lewis broke all of those records in this one win,
crazy.
which is nuts.
Yeah.
There's like there was this moment a couple years ago in surfing when Kelly Slater won Pipe Masters on Oahu, and he hadn't won a contest in I think like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was the youngest person to win a championship. He's been the oldest person to win a championship, and he's won it the most times.
Right.
And there's a lot of parallels between him and Lewis, and him and Lewis are actually quite good friends.
Yeah, totally.
And there is, I mean, I couldn't help but think about Kelly Slater winning Pipe Masters a couple years ago and Lewis winning this event.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities, and it was really emotional for Kelly Slater. He's like, this is the most important one I've ever had in my career.
Right.
And you could tell what Lewis was like. It was really emotional.
He had never cried after winning a race before.
Yeah, that's what his quote was. Yeah.
When he came in, he was just like, I love you, Bono. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're like, your tires are gone. So's your friendship.
It was so sweet, though, to hear him say that.
Yeah, no, it was nuts.
It was really pure.
No, it's funny. I'm like, Laurel, my wife, has been with me and watched me react to Formula One races with complete disinterest for our entire marriage.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that she's ever seen me like excited for a Lewis win. And she's like, wow, this is a big deal, huh?
Yeah. It was one of those moments where you kind of let go of all your prejudice about teams you don't like, drivers that annoy you, and you're like, this is just a moment. Everyone is
I think that's how
enjoying.
everyone felt about the Lando win in Miami, too. It's like, it's just impossible not to love this.
Yeah.
And you can dislike Lewis, but I mean, pretty hard to not be stoked on
I'm
that
not
one.
I'm not a Tom Brady guy, but it was cool to see him win with another team.
Yeah.
I remember kind of cheering for that, being like, yeah, stick it to the other guys. Show that you are the best. And so, I mean, similarly, we'll look forward to Lewis winning in red.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure
I don't know.
he will.
The Ferraris aren't looking too fast right now. There's some
But
teams
here's
that
the
are starting
thing.
to crush it.
Here's the thing, and I love this about this regulation. For those people who complain about it,
I'm complaining.
Well, let me tell you then. The thing that's amazing about this regulation is that Aston Martin was second in the championship in the first year of this regulation.
Oh, that's right.
They've been nowhere since.
Oh, that was so cool.
Likewise, Haas has fluctuated from 10th to now potentially aimed at 5th.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
And it to see the turnarounds. McLaren started this regulation in dead last. They had brakes that were catching on fire. Things were so amiss that we were like, what are McLaren doing?
Yeah.
And now McLaren is arguably faster than Red Bull.
Right now, yeah.
And so it's this regulation to me, compared to the 2014 through 2021 regs,
There's a lot more parity.
is it's so incredible.
Yeah.
People are finding magic bullets everywhere, and they're completely destroying the competition with them. And it is so cool to see.
Yeah. My prediction is that next year you're going to see possibly 4 or 5 drivers coming to the end of the season, all competing for a championship.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be a dream?
That's my
We've
prediction.
wanted that since I've started watching Formula
I think
1.
you'll see
Yeah.
Lewis, Max, obviously, Lando, possibly Piastri as well
Yeah.
together.
I'd love to see Alonso in
And
that
then
mix.
maybe-
Aston figure it out.
And then maybe George or Charles
Yeah.
in that mix. And the way that it works sometimes in like some sports is like there's a way where the person who's, 6th up, if everyone else DNFs, can win that.
Yeah,
And I think
huge
you'll see,
upset.
I think you'll see that happen next year.
That'd be fun.
I think that
The fact that this season is showing what we expected
Yeah.
for next season
exactly.
bodes well for what will happen next year, because next year is the last year of this regulation.
And so I have confidence in Ferrari actually coming next year with a much better car.
Yeah.
They
I think
also-
they'll also figure it out this season. I think it'll be post summer break at this
Okay.
point.
Yeah, we still have a summer break.
I think they're
forget.
waiting
Yeah.
on an update is my guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
And I think it's going to be really cool. Yeah. I'm really excited to see Lewis in red next year. This win made me pretty pumped for that. I'm rooting for him, you
Yeah.
know. And I've never been like a big Lewis fan, but I think to see him win next year, I would bet money that he would win that championship and be like, see ya.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm retiring.
They're like, well, you have a 2-year contract. It'd be like, so did Nico Rosberg. And Nico would be like, did he just credit me with something?
Guys, I'm still here. It's me, Nico
I'm still here.
Rosberg.
Check out my YouTube channel.
I was a driver.
I was the driver. I was Lewis's best teammate.
Man, is there anything else?
I'd actually like to touch on Checo.
Oh, I'm ready for that.
I still have things from the weekend I want to talk about.
Okay.
Checo.
Yeah.
We need to talk about him.
So
Check.
Checo blew it this weekend.
Check O.
Yeah, checked
Check
out.
0. Spelled a little differently this week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like shuffle talk happening
Big
right
time.
now.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson in what day is it going to be on? On the 13th, I believe, of July has a test, at Silverstone in the Red Bull, in the current Red Bull.
So we'll see.
It's a Daniel Ricciardo moment again.
So they're pitting Danny and him
Against
each other, and there's a very real possibility that Liam just straight up replaces Checo.
Well, and I think that there's a very real possibility that one of them does. So
I think it's likely.
Liam, but here's my thought with this though. Okay, at this point, Daniel has had a recovery. This weekend is not a great way to gauge him, because if anyone, again, this is not a defense of Daniel. His engine blew before the race. They couldn't get the car to start. They replaced it, and he was down on power for the whole race.
Also,
So instead
it
of-
was like AlphaTauri, Alpine, Haas, Alpine, AlphaTauri, or sorry, V-Carb.
Yeah, same
I
thing.
was like,
It was like that group of drivers could not pass each other the whole race.
Yeah, it was
It
pretty-
was very boring in the mid pack of the race.
Alpine and all that was all kind of jumbled together.
Anyway, sorry, keep
Even
going.
though Pierre,
So I didn't know he had. I didn't know he had an engine kind of.
DNS.
didn't even start.
Yeah, that's actually that's the actual term. Did you know that?
Yeah.
A DNS
No, did not start.
did not
Yeah.
start.
Oh,
Pierre
I,
got- Pierre
I got
got-
DNS'd every F1 race.
Yeah, so has Charles Leclerc in Brazil
Is that the one where he crashed on the
on the formation lap,
Yeah, on the formation lap.
and then all of the Brazil guys that help. What do they call them?
Helpers?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
The road marshals.
Yeah, the marshals.
Yeah.
All the Brazilian marshals took their picture
Oh, I forget that.
next
That
to
was
Charles Wreck.
sad. Amazing.
So amazing.
I didn't know Daniel had an engine kind of fail.
So the car
Interesting.
wouldn't start when
I
they
didn't know that.
went out for their before they do the formation lap, they do a couple of parade laps, check the track, make sure the cars are running, all that
True. I
stuff.
always get confused about that.
And Daniel's car wouldn't start, and they're
Again, is Liam Lawson somewhere in the garage?
yeah, totally. So
Sabotage.
so they pulled the entire power unit out. There's probably more to this information than I'm adequately or correctly describing, but they replaced it with an old power unit. And so it was down on power. Remember, we've talked about this. The reason that you replace a power unit is because when it's brand new and fresh, it's at its best.
You get more out of it.
Right. But then when the horse is tired, you retire it. Right.
Yeah.
So this
Shoot
was
it right in the face.
this old Yeller they put back in his car after blasting it with rabies.
Interesting.
So that was partially why his race was a little more on the unimpressive
Yuki
side.
finished what place did he?
I think
The last
11th?
few races,
Yuki
though,
finished
Daniel's
10th.
been
He finished 10th.
and
Daniel has been
finishes 13.
outperforming really well.
The past couple races.
He's on
the
upward.
past couple, he's been outperforming Yuki.
He's getting into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my theory.
What is
Okay. Checo's clause. So this hit the airwaves today in the
Yep.
news.
I bet everyone's wondering, how did he sign a 2-year contract?
Well,
and performing like crap.
This is what Red Bull did: is they put performance clauses
They would,
into
of
his
course.
contract.
You know
So
how many times they kill
Everyone
a driver?
has performance clauses in
yeah,
their
everyone does.
They
Everyone
would
does,
never
but this
do.
one
and
has
Red Bull
hit,
for sure. Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, gone.
right. So this is Perez's. Okay. The clause includes that the gap between Max and him can be no more than 100 points in the championship.
Well,
Right now, Max is 119 points ahead of Checo.
uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
Perez is also required to be within 5 places of Verstappen in the standings. He is currently 5th, but the other drivers are right there with him.
Now competing real
Right
hard.
there with him.
The pressure of these drivers, man.
He has to come to the Hungaroring and lay
And
and lay a
drive
miracle.
He has to
out there.
win that freaking
and
race.
drive.
He literally has to win
Move
it.
that bus.
Yeah. This is Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yeah.
With Sergio Perez. But
I would watch that. Side note. Anyway, moving on.
anyways, but here's the thing as well, is that since Miami, Sergio has only scored 11 points.
Wow.
Oh dear. And Logan
was
Sargent. Logan Sargent is out qualifying him. Remember
He's
that?
out qualifying him. He's out positioning
Oh, dear.
him. Yeah. Logan actually had a great weekend in Silverstone.
And
but,
he said that.
yeah.
He's frustrated me.
Yeah.
I actually performed excellent today. And it's like, okay.
The self-confidence. If no one's giving it to
He's
you,
really
give it
trying
to
to sell
yourself.
it to the rest of the team.
You really should just make sure you get it somewhere.
I'm actually
Even if
a
it's from you.
phenomenal driver.
Did anyone hear? I did great today.
I did. Wonderful. Though Logan Sargent in the rumor mill is trying to join the Prema IndyCar team, which is about to be started. So Prema
I
F2 is going to start an IndyCar team.
He's
not
like,
hanging
I'm
around
going to
a
make a
lot.
graceful exit.
Yeah.
I'm not sticking around.
I'm not going to Latifi this. I'm going to actually have a job.
So Checo,
But
Liam
Checo,
Lawson is coming in hot.
and so is
We'll
Danny.
see.
And so is Danny.
And here's the point with Danny. This is my thoughts, okay?
Yeah.
Is that Daniel's been in good form.
Yeah.
Yuki already has an extension. What do you have to lose with Daniel? Because Liam's in the wings. He's ready to get a seat at any moment. Now, he might be the right guy for seat 2, but you haven't given him a full season in the B team like everybody else gets.
Yeah.
So why not give him that opportunity? Let Daniel finish out the year in the seat.
Yeah. Helmet
And it's
has.
sink or swim for Daniel at that point, which they've already kind of put on him. So you might as well put that on him in the seat he wants, rather than the seat
Yeah.
that he's just in.
Helmet has said that they need to get V Carb
A junior team.
into a junior team again, and it's not right now, and it's out of whack, and it has been
Interesting.
since Danny joined.
Kind of was even with Nick.
Or Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was with Nick and Pierre.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, totally. And I mean, if you put Danny in the seat after summer break, I think if Checo botches this next race, he's gone.
He's
Oh,
toast.
dear.
He's
Oh,
toast.
dear.
And I forgot to mention that in the clause, it's the Belgian Grand Prix is the determining moment.
Red Bull is such a cutthroat team,
They
man.
are.
all the teams are very cutthroat. Red Bull is
That's how you
vicious.
win. That's how you win, though, man.
I mean, they're crushing it. They're
Like-
at the top.
The Belgian Grand Prix weekend is July 26th
yeah,
through 29th. So that is
just before summer break, right?
Yep, that is the
Yeah.
last race before the summer break.
So-
so that's Checo's. This is make or break.
My prediction is that Checo's gone, and that Danny's going to replace him, and Danny will have the rest of the year to prove that he can.
And that's it for Danny. Like,
If Danny can't, if Danny
this
can't
is the time, man.
make it work, then he'll be
He's
gone.
gone.
He'll be
as
gone.
well.
Yeah.
And then they'll put Liam in the seat, and they'll put some
Logan Sargent in.
But
they'll
at that
they'll
point,
put
I
Logan
think
in.
Nikita Mazepin, I heard, has just started racing again. So
Gosh.
he got him in the wings.
Anyways, but I think that there's nothing that could be more fair to Daniel at this point than just being like, you suck in our junior B team that can't figure their crap out.
Yeah.
How about just give him the seat that was in?
Yeah.
Give him one last shot.
See what he does.
Prove it.
Yeah.
Or,
And if he can't
And
do
we're
it,
not biased or anything, even though we're both wearing Daniel Ricciardo hats.
I mean, you bought this for me. So, I mean,
if he can't make it work in half a season, then he doesn't deserve to be there.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And I
Yeah,
fully
and
agree with him.
I
on
would
that.
agree with that.
Yeah. So,
I think Daniel should drive every car.
I think we should clone him.
it should
Actually,
Formula Daniel.
Yeah, exactly.
Formula D.
There should just be a whole league of Daniel driving around.
Enchante 1.
Enchante, this is the team name.
E1.
E1.
It's wild how just it's party in the front, party in the back for Daniel, and business in the front, business in the back for Oscar. And I'm just putting that together.
It is. They are opposite Australians, that's for sure. But that's
Different
Perth.
coasts.
That's
Different
Perth
coasts.
and
True.
Melbourne, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Melbourne's way more refined than Perth. It's the Wild West
Perth
out there.
is absolutely insane.
Yeah. We actually pronounce the R in Perth.
Yeah, Perth.
Yeah,
Perth.
but like Melbourne, we got rid of it.
That's
so
hilarious.
But business in the front and back, party in the front and back.
Right on.
Honey Badger.
Okay.
Okay, so what are your other
Shifting
thoughts?
gears.
Yes,
Shifting
yes.
gears just a little bit.
Let's go.
We're
Just a
still in the
tiny
same
bit.
weekend. These are just my dumb observations. First of all, the cool down room. Everyone was like talking about how
So awkward.
Max is like long
good.
time. And he's like ball hog.
Yeah,
I noticed they didn't make eye contact the whole time.
not once.
It was incredible. I was just watching it, and I kept noticing they were not looking at each other the whole time. I was like, these guys hate each other. And and poor Lando was this awful buffer between these two guys.
Yeah, because
that
he's so
hate each other.
dejected.
Oh, yeah, so broken.
So it was
Yeah.
the weirdest dynamic of a guy who doesn't want to talk, but keeps getting talked to by two different guys
Yeah,
to
just
talk
like-
through.
That's what I'm saying. Like the coughs, like Lewis was like
so
doing awkward
funny.
coughs. I was like, oh gosh.
It was so funny. Last week we talked about how great these cool down rooms are because they're not scripted.
No,
they're not guided.
So
And
uncomfortable.
you just have it. I
I skipped
loved
through it. I couldn't stomach it. I was just, I can't be here
no,
right
but
now.
but here's the thing though, is like what we talked about. Lewis's fall from grace, 945 days since he last won. Max has won everything.
everything. You're
And
just
so-
watching your nemesis run away.
You're
with
like the
title.
dude who literally stole it from me on the last lap in 21.
I would be
Has
eight-time
dominated.
championship
Yeah,
winner.
has dominated ever since. And I haven't been in the same room as him. I haven't raced wheel to wheel with him. We've been in different leagues.
He's had the odd
There's cool
podium,
down rooms.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, but like never actually racing Max, because Max has either been out front or ahead of him. He's just never really.
Hasn't Lewis had the odd podium since then?
Yes, but not like.
No.
But he wasn't competing for the win,
Oh, sure.
and so Max and Lewis have not fought for a win wheel to wheel.
It was very
since
much like
Abu Dhabi.
reminiscent of
Okay.
2021.
And so seeing
Yeah,
them
Max
in
was
the cool down
chasing
room,
him
I'm
down.
like, oh yeah,
was-
this used to be way common.
yeah.
I mean, I think that if that race goes 2 laps more,
Oh, it would have gotten ugly, and I would have loved it.
yeah, we would have.
Because that's the
it might
revival I
happen.
think we're all waiting for.
And we might see that again at the end of the season. There was an interview before the race, and they had like the 3 British people that had qualified top 3 for the race. And there's this interview, and this is going back to the idea that Formula One drivers just need a little media training. Some of the drivers are very good at talking and on the fly being
yeah,
like
Lewis
charming.
has amazing
He's great.
media handling.
He's
So
so,
good.
great, and he's a good example. At this moment, the interviewer, whoever it was, who does it, I forget who it was. It might have been a girl talking this
Natalie
time, though.
Natalie Pinkham.
Natalie PK, Kelly PK was doing the interviews with Lindsey Brewer,
Danica Patrick
Danica Patrick, and Lindsey Brewer.
Oh, jeez, not the reptilian.
takes off the lizard mask.
And she asked this question as a lizard. She said, what is it? Is there something? She said along the lines of something like,
What
is there something along the line? She said, is there something about British drivers that has made you guys so good this weekend? Lewis, being charming and funny, says, oh, it's the roast dinners. Like, giving a dumb call out to like British culture and food. And then like it goes to Lando.
And he's like,
who goes, I don't eat roast dinners. And it's like, dude, this is improv 101.
Yeah.
You yes and this. You just take this easy softball from Lewis and play off of it.
And hit it.
Be like, oh, we love a good roast dinner. What do you think, George? Like, bangers and mash will get you first place. Like, do something. It's like Lewis throws this ball up and he just lets it fall.
Yeah.
And I died.
That's actually when Lando lost this weekend.
It was there.
So it's just, that was a little takeaway I had. I was like, can we just give some of these guys a little bit of help?
Nah, well,
they got their mind on other things.
That's a sink or swim that they have to make up their mind on.
Yeah.
In their own way.
In their own way. Those are the two things. We've talked about everything else.
That's it.
The cool down room and then the interview.
Shifting gears. Let me tell you about
shifting gears to Lindsey Brewer, whose driving contract is under threat. Because she's taking too many Instagram selfies and not driving.
What was the exact verbiage? It was for not fulfilling obligations.
It's like, what's your obligation? You just need to show up and drive.
Yeah.
Can you drive in this race?
There's a Rihanna song this girl needs to hear.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, I never heard of C4 Energy before. I think she's fulfilling obligations just fine.
I mean, that team is getting a lot of publicity with her not even driving. But they should be chill with it.
This is the same team that also had the Argentine debacle, the Juncos Hollinger Racing that I was telling you about.
C4 the team?
No, that's like the energy
that's
drink
like a
or
big
whatever.
pre-workout thing.
But I don't freaking give them. But that team is the one that had all that crap in IndyCar that I was with. The Argentine driver that had the death threats and all of that.
Oh,
that's the same team. And so
Volatile
I'm looking at, I feel like I'm looking at him. I'm like,
Not
you
enough
guys,
Instagram posts.
Yeah. I'm like, could you guys do yourselves a favor and just lay low a little while? Maybe not just lay off the.
She is laying low.
But the thing,
or wait, is she not?
No,
I don't know.
not. She's not.
Here's the thing.
She's
opposite.
I think there was some stat that like her and one other girl are like they have the most Instagram following of any driver. I think they were like more than Lewis or something ridiculous.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
So
Lindsey.
it's one of those things where I'm like, is this the move because of obligations?
So Lindsey, please come on the podcast.
Yes, we'll talk
Call
about
me.
it. Tell us what the
call
obligations
us.
were.
And then we'd be happy to clear your name and give you a little bit of bump in social media.
A little bit of a bump.
We can help you out there. All right. Well, that concludes our talk about the British Grand Prix.
Yes.
Super fun.
But there's more.
There is more. We had our on-the-ground correspondent, the Haas Chap,
Henry Wallace.
live from Silverstone. He has sent us his own rundown from the grounds at Silverstone.
He was there,
race.
physically.
Yeah, physically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, we turn it over now to the Haas Chap.
Roll the tape.
From the deserts of Abu Dhabi to the shores of Baku and Miami, Haas Boys' investigative F1 field fan phenomenon features Henry the Haas Chap Wallace.
Well, good morning to everybody. It's the start of the British Grand Prix weekend, Thursday. I'm currently out walking the dog, and it's going to be an exceptionally exciting weekend ahead. What with the clash that's been happening between Max and Lando, it's been spicy. There are some cool things that are going to be happening throughout this weekend, so all will be revealed very shortly. Good day, one and all. It is I, the Haas Chap, currently in the car eating a individually wrapped chocolate waffle thing. Not like a potato, or like one of those sweet waffles, not a potato waffle. I am en route to Silverstone, Towerster, Northamptonshire for the British Grand Prix. Notice how I pronounce it, Grand Prix. I have been on the road for about half an hour. I hope that I've toileted enough, because I've got approximately a 2.5 hour drive with very little opportunity to stop off anywhere for a tinkle. Okay, sit rep. It's currently 2 minutes past 9 in the morning, and the news that Ollie Bearman, the lad from Chelmsford, UK-based Ferrari Academy driver, is officially going to be driving for the MoneyGram Haas F1 team in 2025. Here we go! I'm also feeling a little bit sore. My back hurts, my bum hurts. I've eaten all of my sweets. And there's a lot of very angry drivers out on the roads today, so I'm trying to not get sideswiped by a massive tanker or an old person driving a Nissan Micra, which, let's be honest, it's always an old person driving a Nissan Micra. Anybody who's wondering what the Haas chap drives, well, it's something rather special. It's obvious, really. The Ferrari links to Haas and the great illustrious history that themselves have formed together as a bond, as an emotional relationship between these two great teams, these titans of motorsport. I drive a 2011 Ford Mondeo. I mean, the stereo is pretty good, and it's not broken down on me yet. Or is that a lie? No, it definitely has broken down on me. Anyway, onwards. Well, I'm currently in an area where there is absolutely no signal, and I don't have any CDs with me, so please enjoy a short intermission of me singing some popular music songs. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want now, baby, you get next to me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Club Tropicana drinks are free. More than sunshine, there's enough for everyone. Whoa, let's listen to the JC. But don't worry, you can suntan. Well. I've just got back into the car. I paid a visit to the Haas F1 team factory over in Banbury. I met up with a lovely chap called Neil Goward. He works in the stores over at the Haas HQ. There was a couple of cool cars there, of course. A couple of the previous iterations of the Haas VF series. There was used race suits, Herr Grosjean's used boots, helmet, some of the jacks that they use for pit stops. Just a nice vibe. So if you're ever in Banbury, in merry old England, speak to reception. They're not scary at all. It's just really nice to go and see where it all happens. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me up and pour me out. I don't want to wait for a love to get over. And that's something. I don't want to wait for a love to be over. Because my friend is the You might be able to hear, but I am now at the track. There's a surprising amount of people for Thursday, but it means it's good. The interest in Formula One is obviously still very much alive. Excuse me if I sound out of breath. I'm climbing up some steps, and I am not a fit man. But I'm just about to make my way into the inner ring. Honestly, first impressions, this place is just absolutely magical. It doesn't really feel like it's really only been a year since coming here, but there is clearly a reason why Silverstone is branded as the home of motorsport, the home of Formula One. It's just an absolutely immense vibe around here. The big surprise is that I'm in the inner ring and I'm standing at the paddock entrance, not inside the paddock, but you know what I mean, that kind of big thing where there's lots of people standing with signs, and I'm here with Frederica, long-term Haas fan and just all-around amazing person. Frederica, hi, how are you doing?
I'm great, just happy to be here.
Where have you come from today?
So we flew yesterday from Portugal to the UK and we are staying in Milton Keynes, so we are here for the whole weekend.
That's amazing. Have you been to Silverstone before?
Yeah, I've been last year to Silverstone and then I've been multiple times to other Grand Prix in Europe.
That's amazing. What is it that drew you to the MoneyGram Haas F1 team?
I think the fact that they are underdogs I always liked underdogs and the passion they put, and it looks such like a friendly team, like real family somehow. I think it makes them different from the others, a big corporate team. So yeah, that's why.
That is absolutely amazing. Frederica, thank you very much and have an amazing weekend.
Thank you.
As per tradition, I am stood at Luffield with intoxicating liquid in my hand. And like poetry, what is to my right? Yes, that's right. It's a fudge store. Oh yes. We're keeping the same jokes from last year in this one as well. There is definitely more of a Haas fan representation this year, which I'm pleased to say. It's Thursday, and I've already seen 4. So things are already on the up. If I can get into double digits again, then we're quids in. And it looks like we've got some Pirelli hot laps going on as we speak. There's a very lovely Aston Martin 4x4. God knows, I definitely wouldn't want to be in that one. I think that'd be way too rolly, but yeah, there you go. I'm here with a gentleman by the name of Chris. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Is this your first time at Silverstone?
Second time.
Second time. When was the last time you were here?
Last year.
Last year. So, you're wearing Haas gear, last year's Haas gear. What is it about Haas that makes you want to support them?
They're the underdogs, you know. First American team, no one really thinks much of them, and this year they've pulled out the bag and actually proved them wrong.
Excellent. What do you think about the news about Will.I.Am this morning?
Fantastic. Another British driver on the Grand Prix. It's just going to be brilliant and for a good team as well. So,
absolutely stunning. Now, what are your predictions for Haas this weekend?
Points. I don't care where, but we've got to be in the points.
That is absolutely superb. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
No worries.
I am speaking to you from the pit lane. I can't believe it. I am actually walking down the pit lane. This is just madness. How the hell did I get myself here? The only garages that are shut up are the ones of Visa, Cash App, RB, PayPal, HSBC, Bank Transfer, of Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo. Those are the only ones that are closed up. And Esteban Ocon has just ridden past me on his bicycle. That's awfully fun. I can barely hear any music. I don't know about you, but the music seems a bit quiet here. I think they could probably do with turning it up a bit. You join me day 2, Friday, the free practice sessions of the British Grand Prix. I've just left my house. It's just gone 6 o'clock in the morning. And oh boy, is it going to be an unforgettable experience. Some might say I might even have, to quote Principal Skinner, an unforgettable lunch. Because I've got a couple of Paddock Club passes. How on earth has my life come to this point? I tried to call Mike and Max yesterday at around 6:30 in the evening GMT whilst I was in the pit lane. But of course, because they're a pair of dinguses and it was the 4th of July, for some reason they didn't pick up. I heard there was some sort of event in the States on the 4th of July. Don't really know what that's all about. We have arrived at the track Friday morning. It's drizzling and there's also a delectable smell in the air of jacket potato and beans from Spudman. But anyway, we're making our way over to the special area. Ooh. Do you have any word to say? This is your first day here, Nick.
First day, mildly moist, but looking like a good vibe.
You really are a tart, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So I'm just sat in the hospitality suite with a burger, some sort of like cherry tart thing, which is lovely. But I didn't have enough hands to carry my third item, so I put a chocolate parfait in my back pocket. It survived. My trousers survived. That's the important thing. Oh, I've just been on a tour of the garage, seen all of the classic guys from the team. Mr. Lewis Thompson, Graham Fraser, James Thompson, Victor, Mark, so many people. It's mad walking around the paddock and then all of a sudden, there he is, it's just Lando Norris just going for a wander. Or, you know, Nico Hülkenberg just coming up behind you and giving you the biggest spook of your entire life. It's probably been a few hours since I've done an update, but I've had probably 2 bottles worth of Ferrari champagne, Prosecco, sparkling wine, whatever it is. I've just done my second pit walk. Headed straight, of course, for the Man and Graham Haas F1 team garage, and again managed to get inside the pit box. Had a chat with a whole bunch of the guys from the team, which was just really sweet. It's been really weird to attend an event and the people who are working the event recognise you and they come up and say hello. It's a very odd sensation. So FP1 and FP2 was kind of alright. I think the guys were kind of settling into the car. So Nico's got the upgrades for this weekend and K-Mag hasn't. In FP2, the rain came out and it was kind of touch and go as to what was going on, but everyone kind of came in at about 7 to 5 minutes earlier than they would have usually done. But they did do their practice starts because there is every chance that there will be inclement weather for qualifying and for the Grand Prix itself. There is a lot of speculation going on about Max and Lando, and whether the rumours are true that they've kissed and made up is, well, I'll believe it when I see it. It's apparently all pretty mutual and they understand why each other did the things that they did last time out in Austria. But I would say that it's been incredibly entertaining, and contrary to popular opinion, I quite like it when drivers get a little bit too aggressive and start bumping wheels, because then you get unpredictability in results, and that's when you get Haas double points. And I would absolutely adore some Haas double points again, this time in Silverstone, and the weather could very much play into our hands. So this is about it for Saturday. You will hear from me imminently. Friday. Thank you, darling. This is Friday. You will hear from me imminently on Saturday. Day 3 on Saturday. I got it right. It is Saturday today. So it's FP3 and qualifying, and it is already raining. The complete opposite of last year, but it doesn't matter because we're going to see some F1 cars. It's going to be a very different experience to the one that we had yesterday, where we were wined and dined, champagne, free food whenever you wanted, balconies straight over the Williams and the Haas garage, looking onto the Hammertime Straight. And today we'll be walking around in varying levels of mud, trying to find a spot to watch qualifying that hopefully hasn't been riddled with worms, sick, and other bodily fluids. How are you feeling about today, the last day of our Silverstone Experience 2024?
It's going to be a good day. Just hope it doesn't rain all day. But yeah, I don't think we can quite top yesterday, can we?
No, not really.
I'm not sure the bottle of coconut water in my bag will taste quite as nice as Ferrari champagne. But we'll give it a go.
Describe your feelings about your experience yesterday, a la Paddock Club.
Well, it's one of those things. Paddock Club's something I've always dreamt about doing and never thought, because of the cost of it. Never thought I'd do it, but it wasn't just Paddock Club, was it? It was the whole experience was just phenomenal. Going in the garage, meeting the team, going in the pit lane a couple of times, going around the circuit, what felt like at the speed of a Formula 1 car on the back of a lorry.
And then you look back at the footage and it looks really slow. And we got to meet Josh Hill, Damon Hill's son, and Jody Sloss, who is a racing driver with experience of about 2 years, but is already making immense waves in the world of motorsport, currently driving for Aston Martin. I'm guessing kind of alongside people like Jess Hawkins. Right, we're about to don the bus, and we will see you on the other side. Not dead. Well, I hope not dead, but you know what I mean. So we just finished up doing a joint meet and greet with a whole bunch of creators that are considerably bigger, better, more visually appealing than me. And we're just heading back over the Wellington Bridge to watch qualifying. FP3 was a bit of a washout for most of the session. It was mainly on inters. Gasly had a moment and ended up in the gravel. But these things happen. This is the way that Formula 1 is. And now the sun is coming out. Whether or not we're going to get a mixed quali is one thing, but I'm hopeful for, of course, a Haas front row lockout. Haas 1-2, baby. Let's go. And what are your thoughts, dear Nicholas Emberson, current live guest on the Fast Ones podcast?
The problem is the sun is out and it looks like it might stay that way, but I say it's going to be, I'm going to get this all wrong now, but it's got to be Lando, Max, George.
Lando, Max and George. I'm going to say properly Haas 1-2. I reckon it's going to be Max, Lando, Oscar. That's my thought. Will we be right? Probably not. We're in the middle of Q2. As you can hear, the cars are going by at a fair rate of knots down the Wellington Straight. Unfortunately, K-Mag is out in Q1. He was P17. He had a moment and he went off into the gravel. The same place where Checo did, but unlike Checo, who managed to keep it in, as Nico Hülkenberg comes flying past. Hülkenberg! And hoping very much for Nico to get us into Q3. He has got the upgrades. 7 upgrades this weekend. K-Mag doesn't have any of them, so that's probably an indication of the performance of K-Mag's car. But hopefully with some unpredictable weather tomorrow, we can get another set of double points. But I would just also like to add that Sergio Perez once again out in Q1 because he put it in the gravel and couldn't get back. So there's Alex Albon going past there. We got Logan Sargent. There's Russell George. There's Lando Norris. Very familiar, high-pitched whistling tone coming from Lando. It's kind of still unreal that I'm here again. There's Hülkenberg again. DRS open on a flying lap. Hopefully he'll get P1. He's already P3 at the moment, but we have got 10 minutes to go, so there's plenty of chance for the track to start to grip up. End of Q2, and who's made it through? Our beautiful, gorgeous, delectable Nico. Come back into Q3. So the paddock cap has come off and the cowboy hat has been donned to manifest Nico Hülkenberg pole position. If Nico gets pole position, that means I've got half of my prediction right. If he gets P2, it means I've also got half of my prediction right. So all we need is something to throw onto the track after Nico's just gone P1. That will mean that the rest of the session cannot be continued.
Yourself.
If I throw myself onto the track. Quick, hold this. An update, hopefully towards the end of Q3, will be coming very shortly. Well, Nico's just passed us on his last flying lap. There is 13 seconds to go till the end of Q3. We're on tenterhooks to see whether or not Nico can get a decent position. Max just had a snap of oversteer, and currently Hulk is in P6. So at the moment, things are looking okay. George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, all just whizzing by. It's sometimes odd when you're stood here at the circuit and you're seeing these cars go past and go, oh yeah, there's an Aston Martin, but you don't actually tend to think, like, that's actually Fernando Alonso, that's actually Lewis Hamilton, that's actually Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. I just kind of can't comprehend it sometimes. But what have we got on the boards? Hülkenberg is P5. He's now P6. Piastri's just popped him. Still ahead of Sainz, Stroll, Albon, and Albon. Lewis taking provisional pole. George Russell tops the timings, coming over the line now. Is that it? Wow, that is it. Russell takes pole position. Lewis Hamilton P2, Lando Norris P3, Max Verstappen P4, Oscar Piastri P5, Nico Hülkenberg P6, out qualifying both Ferraris. Lance Stroll and others take the rest of the top 10. But is this another yabba dabba doo moment from George Russell? It could very well be. This is my last day here at Silverstone, so I want to thank everybody for listening. Unfortunately, I'm not at the race tomorrow, but I will be cheering on K-Mag and Nico and the rest of the MoneyGram Haas F1 team with all of my heart, hoping for another amazing session. We've got a good chance for some good points yet again, potentially further extending our lead over Alpine and getting closer, fingers crossed, to those in P6 of Racing Bulls. This has been the Haas Chap at the British Grand Prix 2024. Stay cool, stay sexy, support Haas.
It's party in the front, party in the back for Daniel, and business in the front, business in the back for Oscar.